You're telling me I owe the government $31,000 to go to college, but I can't pay that because college didn't even get me a job. It literally didn't get me a job. So I owe $31,000 and I don't have a job.
A lot of people are calling college a scam. We were told if you don't go to college, you'll never get ahead. But then you get there and it's tuition, books, rent, commuting, and even paying to park, all while juggling classes and maybe a job. Then graduation comes, and some people can't even land a job in what they studied for. Of course, if you're going into nursing, law, or other specialized fields, college is a must. But for so many others, it feels like this giant money-making machine that doesn't always deliver on the promises we were told.
When people say that college is a scam, they're always one of two people, right? Number one, hardworking as fuck. They've got that dog in them, okay? They're gonna make ends meet no matter what degree they have or don't have. They know how to pull it together. Perhaps they faced some adversity, they couldn't go to college, they worked their ass off, they're an electrician now, and shit's fine. Or they're person B, the rich get richer. You live off of daddy's fucking income. You're using mommy's black card, and that's why you say college is a scam. Like, I didn't have to go to school. You don't have to go to school because you have generational fucking wealth, shorty. You don't have to go to school because that was never even something you had to consider in the first place. Some people have to go to school so they can better the lives of themselves and the people they care about. College is a scam. You drive a Range Rover. You drive a Range Rover. And you got a Louis bag for your 13th birthday and you didn't even ask for it. College is a scam, my fucking ass.
Okay, I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but really I don't care. So before you come at me, because I know anybody that has a college degree is probably going to come at me. I have 2 college degrees and I still believe this. I believe that college is a scam. I believe that it's a money-making machine, and that's all it is. And we have told ourselves, and we've told our children in society, that if you don't go to college, you're never going to get ahead in life. That's bullshit, right? I truly believe that trade schools are probably better than college. And I think that a 4-year college can honestly be turned into 2 years. When I heard my son going to college, me and my husband talked about this. He didn't go to classes like when he woke up until he went to sleep. Everything that he did in those 4 years between summer breaks, everything else could have been condensed into 2 years. But I think that they wanted it to be 4 years because that's more money that they can make from the person. You know, not only money to go to college and books, but him having to pay for an apartment, a house, living expenses, everything in that area. So I think it's just a money-making scheme. But they said, oh, you're going to get yourself ahead because you have this college degree. Also bullshit. My son graduated from college, and I understand that when you first graduate, that piece of paper doesn't say that you're qualified to do anything. Let's be real. So he does have to start in an entry-level position. You know, so he makes $40,000 a year with his college degree. And I get that they want to see experienced persons first. But I can tell you that I have 2 college degrees. I only got those through the military, right? So I joined the military when I was his age because I couldn't afford college. The military gave me those 2, I worked for those 2 degrees. And when I retired from the military after 22 years, I was able to get a job. And it was a 6-figure salary. Do I believe it had anything to do with my degrees? Absolutely not, because I wasn't even working in what my degrees were for. I think it had everything to do with the fact that I had served 22 years in the military, and the experience is what they were hiring me for, the management experience, not the degrees that I had. But right now, it's like when they put so much emphasis on these college degrees, you spend 4 years, which I think could be down to 2, hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debts just to get a job that you can't even afford to live with. Something's got to change with that. You know, something is absolute, because we are just setting them up to fail.
Can we talk about how the biggest finesse of all time is college in the United States? First of all, you're paying an arm and a leg to be there. Like, yes, I'm leaving with a degree, which is useful for some careers, but like half of the time, nobody even uses the degree they got. My biggest takeaways from college is probably like 3 friends, mental health shit, and maybe some time management. On top of the thousands of dollars we have given them to go here, they're charging me to leave. Like my cap and gown, almost $100. The fuck? Honestly, just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Going to college and university is a total scam, and if I could stand up on the podium in a high school and yell it to my younger self, I would. And let me tell you why. From the moment we were put in school, we were always told and persuaded that college and university was the way to be successful. More specifically, university. And by the time you get to that age in high school where you're deciding what you want to do for the rest of your life, which we are so young, we don't know what we want to do. We don't know who we are, what our passions are. We have no freaking clue. We just know that that's the right thing to do. So we pick a path, we invest so much time, so much money, thousands and thousands of dollars into something that we're not even sure we want to do for the rest of our lives. And then we graduate and we're stuck with all of this debt and a job that I'm sure 50% of us realized it was the wrong choice and we want to try something else or go into a different career path. Not to mention that these jobs are usually a 9-to-5 where you have to invest so much time in order to get a paycheck into that job. So after the last year of focusing on building a side business, I've realized just how easy it is to be just as successful, if not more successful, in a 9-to-5 without going to college or university. And to look back and think if I started this business 5 years ago, I could be so much farther and make so much more money than my 9-to-5 and not have the debt, because you can get certified in something with just a certificate online for a fraction of the price of college and university. A fraction. And then to think of our grandparents' generation, they didn't have to go to college or university to be successful. This is such a new phenomenon, and being taught in schools and pushed on younger kids, vulnerable kids, to do when all it does is put you in debt and takes away any chance of being your own entrepreneur or following a passion of your choosing. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it all. I mean, money is abundant, and if you provide a service and something that you're passionate about, then you can make it work and you can be extremely successful without going to college or university.
From somebody that has 5 degrees and has been searching for almost a year and still hasn't gotten a job, take this advice. Stop getting the degrees. They don't mean crap. If your profession doesn't require you to have a degree, don't go get one. Literally, they don't mean nothing. They want you to have experience. They don't care about these degrees. Matter of fact, go get you a trade. If you're going to go to school, get you a hard skill, a trade. Learn how to work on cars, hair, plumbing, electricity. Get you a hard skill, bro. Get you a hard skill that ain't never gonna go outside, that AI ain't never gonna take. Learn how to do jiu-jitsu, something. Get you a hard skill, cabinet making, something.
Wait. So all the people that were arguing that they're better than everybody because they have a degree, 97% of y'all don't even have a job in the field that you studied in, will never have a job in that field, can't get a job in that field, and y'all wages about to be garnished May 15th? Don't want to be one of y'all, for sure. Would not want to be one of y'all niggas.
One thing people need to stop doing, and y'all not gonna like me when I say it, going to college. Specifically because your parents told you to or your teacher told you to, because they say that's the next step in your life. Life is life. After high school, after we graduate, there is no next step to life, a general step to life everyone takes. If that were the case, there would be no difference between millionaires and homeless people. If you going to college and you getting in debt for a general degree, stop. Y'all need to do a couple hours of research on the degree that you're choosing, because you're going to go 4 years into debt, and you need to ask yourself the main question: am I going into debt to invest in myself? If you're not asking that question, you already setting your life up to be a little bit disastrous for you in the future, a little bit harder for you in the future. Because if that general degree can't get you a high-paying job, then what did you go into high debt for? And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, we got to stop taking advice from people and even our parents if they're not in situations that we want to be. If you got teachers and parents and grandmas telling you, go to college, baby, that's how you gonna get your life you want. You look at their life and see if that's the life that you want. If the people that's giving you advice is not living the life that you want, I advise you not to listen. If you want a life that's different from everybody that's surrounded by you, you have to figure that out. You can't rely on advice from outsiders. You have to do your own research and invest in yourself and invest in your own personal growth. And we got to remember, it's 2023. We have college dropouts who are billionaires, okay? College is not the key to being rich anymore. At this point, it's the key to the government effing you over. So if you're in college or you're thinking about going, the main question you need to ask yourself, what are my financial and personal growth goals for the future? And how can I achieve them most efficiently? Meaning maximum results with minimum wasted effort and expenses.
So I never thought I would be the person to think this way, but I honestly believe that in 2025 and on, college is a scam. I don't believe, unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or something like that, that you should need to go to college. I feel like it is basically just a status symbol for most parents to say like their kid is going to like a prestigious college or college in general. It's overpriced. Like 75% of students don't work in the field that they got their degree in. I also feel like many of the professors have a very outdated mentality, and that's how they teach. I also feel like working in a trade, such as like plumbing, electrician, contract work, contractors, people who have like a skill or a trade, they don't need to go to college. Like you can learn how to do that on your own. I also feel like the tuition is out of control. It's like average college is $50,000 a year, and then you're left with most people an astronomical amount of student debt that takes years and years and years and years to pay off. And most of the time, you don't even get a job right out of college. And I feel like people who are my age were like indoctrinated into thinking that if we got a college degree, we got a bachelor's degree, we would be set for life. That is so not true. And now I'm thinking like for my daughter, unless she wants to be like a doctor or a lawyer, she doesn't need to go to college. It's not a prerequisite for her. And another thing, I think the whole college structure is like how I said it was status. It's also been like glamorized for making friends, being in sororities, meeting people, networking, moving away, going to being in a new place, becoming on your own. So you're basically like paying for the lifestyle, not the education. And it's very sad because I loved college. I had a great experience. Luckily, I never had any college debt. I loved my school, but it was like for like the status of going to a private university, for meeting a bunch of new people and being in a different city and state. And that was like the main reason why I loved it. Like, yeah, did I learn some stuff? Yeah. And do I use it in my everyday life? No. But they say, like, if you get this degree, you get this piece of paper, you can get a job that pays like 100 grand a year right out of school. And that's not happening, especially right now. So don't go to college unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. Okay, bye.